Welcome to Hope Matters Radio.
As we get back to the question of should we fix and flip, should we buy and hold, Amy Shea and I are discussing with the gentleman here in studio with us what the intricacies are. How do they start the planning model? Amy, there's so much that we could cover. What's the next question we should hit on?
Dino, you often look at houses more as income on the property itself. So when you approach a house from that perspective, what is it you're looking for?
Yeah, so there's different schools of thought that I get questions on. For me, being 33 years old, I consider that to be on the younger side of investing. So I can carry a property 30, 40 years and get it to the point where it's paid off, and I call it guaranteed to get rich slowly.
Okay, run the marathon, not the sprint.
Exactly, because real estate is tried and true over long term. And that's the one thing I stress to everybody. If you get into this and a year from now you're just not interested, you can take a loss. There are some investors that would like to make money now in an area that maybe is less expensive to acquire with good rents. You might not make good money over the 20 years in appreciation, but you're going to be making a lot more money up front. A more expensive area, it's going to lower your rate of return, but you have a quality property value that's going to continue to go up as long as things stay constant.
Right.
So there's a speculative aspect to, in theory, both sides of the coin.
Absolutely.
Low and slow or big and bad right from the get-go. Greg, it's important that either solution, fix and flip, buy and hold, they're consulting their CPA and their tax planner.
Sure.
Where do you engage the prospective real estate investor to help them better understand what happens today will impact us tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, the sooner the better. You know, at the point where even when they're looking at a property and saying, is it something I want to buy and hold, or is it something I want to buy and flip? Because there's tax implications to both those things. And you know, as you know, Simon talks about, you know, fix it up as fast as you can and flip it, you know, to limit your carrying costs. You know, there's a greater tax consequence to doing that in terms of, you know, short-term capital gains or ordinary income versus, you know, if you hold it 1 year and 1 day, all of a sudden it's a much more advantageous tax rate. And then, you know, more from, you know, the rental standpoint, you know, oftentimes when you buy a rental property, you're able to deduct your depreciation, which a lot of times can give you a tax loss, you know, on your tax return, where you might, you know, be cash flow positive, but you're able to deduct those losses, you know, over time. So a rental portfolio can kind of, you know, produce, you know, some tax offsets, you know, for you potentially.
And Greg, as we look at this, we also have to take into consideration what's our day job. How are these properties being held or purchased? Are they in personal names? Are they in entities? What are the tax consequences? Because somebody that's earning, say, $175,000 or more is going to treat all of these dynamics very differently than somebody who is earning less. So it's not all the same for everybody.
No, I mean, there's definitely different treatments depending on where in your example, your other income comes into play. You know, for example, from the rental side, when you're holding a rental property, we talked a second ago about being able to deduct some of those losses. When your income gets above $100,000, your ability to deduct those losses starts to get limited. So, for example, once you get over $150,000 of adjusted gross income, you're really not able to deduct any of those losses until you have income to offset it, until you have other rental income or passive income to offset it. And I don't think people realize that. You know, so you could, you know, if you're a high income earner, and you buy rental properties and you have all these losses on them, you could end up just having suspended losses for years until you're able to actually use those. And sometimes people don't realize that.
Hope Matters Radio is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit HopeMattersRadio.com for more information. That's HopeMattersRadio.com.